Let's go ahead and set a few of the options here on our MCL-3006 series digital gauges. Press and hold the button while we turn the key on. This puts us into the setup. We see a number 1 on everything except the function we're going to set, which is the clock. So we press and hold the button again to step into the menu further. This shows the hours. Now as we press the button, we're setting the hours. When we get to what we want, we press and hold again. It'll change to the minutes. Simply scroll through and set the minutes where you want them. Then press and hold it one more time. This button here, or this function here, allows you to set a calibration, so you can actually speed or slow the clock down. Press and hold it again. And that's it. The clock is set. Now let's go into the speedometer and set a couple options there. We're going to go to the second menu, or till the speedometer says SPD. Press and hold it again. Now you see here your diagnostic codes. These are where you can pull your check engine lights if the bike has thrown a code. You're going to go into adjust. This is where you change your speed setting if you've changed sprocket size or wheel size on the bike. Units is mph or kilometers. You can set it to either one. Service set would be a service menu that can count backwards for you. You can use this to set up for oil changes or whatever else you want to be reminded of. Performance is the readouts for 0 to 60 times and quarter mile times. We're going to go ahead and press and hold this again and go in and shut those off. Right now you can see that they're set to on. If we press it one more time, they'll go to off. We just push and hold it to confirm it. Now they're shut off. We're back at the beginning of the menu, and while we're in here, let's go ahead and set the odometer on this bike as well. You'll see where it says ODOM. Press and hold it one more time. It's going to give you all zeros. This particular bike only has 171 miles on it, so we're just going to go over and enter that in where it needs to be. Change that to a 1 and hold it. Go to 7, and then 1. Press and hold it one more time. It asks if it's correct. If this is the wrong reading, you can press and hold it now, and you'll go back to zeros. If it's correct, you change it to yes, and press and hold it one more time. And that's it. The miles are set. Now let's go ahead and set the fuel gauge, make sure it's set up for the proper sender. Press and hold the button again, of course, to get in the menu. Now we're going to change it till we see FUL on the fuel. And there we go. Press and hold it. First option is the sender. It's already set to 33, which is correct for this bike, but you could also change it to the 10 setting if you had an 07 or earlier bike. Of course, this one 33 is correct, so we'll go ahead and press and hold it again to confirm it. And that's it. That's all you have to do to change your fuel sender. Now let's go into the oil pressure gauge and make sure that our high and low warnings are where we want them. Press and hold the switch again, turn the key on. Now we're going to keep pressing the button until we get something over here other than a number. You'll see there it says PSI, so that's that gauge. Go ahead and press and hold it to step into the menu a little further. First thing we can change is the sender. The 60 is for the stock Harley sender. This is typically going to be correct, but if you happen to have a high output motor or say a fueling pump or something where you have a higher pressure, you can actually go and put in our 150 PSI sender here as well. But this one is correct for this application. So let's go ahead and press and hold it. This is our low pressure warning. It's set at 7 pounds factory, but basically we go to 8 or say 9 pounds here. Press and hold it again, and it gives us an option to change the high pressure warning. Go ahead and set that where you want it. Press and hold it one more time, and that's it. Your warning points are set. Let's take a look at a few of the menus in the TAC now. The TAC is actually the third menu. We see the first menu is clock function only. The second one goes to speed. The third one brings you back to actual TAC function. So if we press and hold it from here, you'll step in, and you see there's an adjustment for night. You can actually change the sensitivity on these so that they'll go to half brightness either earlier or later, depending on how it works out for your eyes. Update is actually going to just set how fast the TAC moves. You can actually make it go quite a bit faster or quite a bit slower here, depending on what you need to see. Warning is your RPM warning. This is probably the only thing you're really going to change in here, so we'll press and hold it to get into it. You can see here the warning is set at 5500 on this one. We're probably going to back that down a little bit to say something a little more realistic like 4500. Press and hold it to confirm it. And that's it. Everything's set in the tach as well now. Now let's go into a couple of the smaller gauges and change some settings. Press the button again while we turn the key on. We're going to go into our air pressure reading here, which happens to be the 8th gauge on the bus. So as we keep going, we'll see everything else will say a number 8, except PSI on that one. Press and hold it as we step into it. First thing that we allowed to change here is the sender. For this case, we are using the 0 to 150 PSI sender, so this is the correct setting. Press and hold again to step into it. This is our low pressure warning. Just set the button where you want it. Press and hold it one more time. It gives you your high warning. We'll change that, 138. Press and hold it one more time. The speed is actually just how fast the refresh is on the display. You pretty much always want to leave that at slow. Press and hold it one more time, and we're set.